Hi guys, back again with another video. Now this video is going to be a real life review of the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So I've been using it for 6 months. So I'll be talking about my experiences with it. I'm not going to go through all the details because you've already seen that on the website and you've seen other videos. I'm going to talk about the things that people don't know unless you actually use it for around 6 months or 1 year. So I've used it for 6 months. If I wait for 1 year, then this will be outdated. So let's go ahead and talk about what to expect from this and how good or bad this is going to be. So let's start with the build quality itself. Let's talk about the phone, how it actually looks. So it looks premium. It's completely made of glass. Now the front and back is Gorilla Glass 5 and that is premium, but the frame is plastic and it doesn't feel very great. It is flimsy. The ports actually get dark, gets dirty. It's white frame from inside, and when it gets dirty you can actually see it, so that was not great. The SIM slots are also very flimsy, so I will not advise going on taking it out and putting it back in. But the good thing is they have taken care of a little bit of waterproofing with this. The SIM card slot has a rubber seal on it. The phone itself has a coating to save it from a little bit of water, so any splash that comes in, the water will not stay on it, it will just slip off. But it's not waterproof, so you cannot dunk it into the water, a bucket of water or something like that. That cannot be done with this, then the phone will definitely die. Now the phone actually comes with a cover. This is a transparent cover which actually goes little brownish in 2 months, so it will not survive too long, but it's still going on. The fit is fine. Everything is fine, but the color will change. So that's something which we know about all the MI covers. They will go brownish. I did not expect it to go brown in 2 months, but it did. Now let's talk about the connectivity option. Now this has dual VoLTE support, so you can have two Geo SIMs working together. You do have something called X antenna technology, where because this is mainly meant for gaming, so when you're holding the phone like this, it does not block the Wi-Fi signal, so that technology has been put in. It does have NFC for Google Pay, but it does not. No, you cannot use the NFC for other things. That's something strange. I was not able to use the NFC at all. And this does support 2.5 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi signals. It can even broadcast, as in whenever you do tethering, this will give both the options, 2.5 and 5 gigahertz. You don't get two of them together, you'll have to choose them separately. Now one key feature about this phone is the display itself. It's a 6.53 inch full HD plus screen which supports HDR. So the screen quality is good, but it's not OLED, so you do not expect the OLED kind of quality, but it's actually pretty good. I was able to use it with Netflix and Amazon Prime and watching videos and all these things. It was actually pretty good. Multimedia wise and social networking, all the entertainment purpose, this is a very good screen. I was actually very happy with this. The only problem though is it's actually a pretty heavy phone. It's 200 grams, so when you hold it for a long period of time, your hand starts paining. So that's something that is a common feedback that I've got with all the people that I gave this phone to. So I actually gave it to other people also to use it. So that's something that they all had a problem with, that this is a heavy phone. So if you're not into heavy phones and a big screen phone, then I will not advise this. You can go for the other ones. Now what I noticed with this display is the OS is still not configured completely for this size of a display. Now whenever I get notification, most of the notifications are some of the notifications, like especially Facebook notifications, are a little bit cut, so they are not showing the complete notification. It has a slight cut in it. That's because of the ratio problem. And like when I was in Google Photos and I was trying to delete photos, the option to delete, I can't even see that goes below the screen. So there was some mismatch in the screen ratio. So hopefully that gets better with future updates, but right now we still have a little bit of ratio problem. Now when we're talking about the ratio thing, when you're watching Netflix and Amazon Prime, the screen does not go completely to the corner. So you will still have where the notch comes, the screen will go just till that, so that much space will not be taken. But if you're using a third-party video player like VLC player or MX player or any of these, then the video goes till the end. So that but for some reason in the media player that comes with this, it doesn't go till the end. So that's something that you need to know. Now let's talk about the battery life. Now this has fast charging in it. You get a 18 watts fast charger, and it charges the entire phone from 0 to 100 in 2 hours. So I actually have seen a lot of people talk about this not being that great. It's not fast enough. There are faster ones. There are this, there are that. But for me, this is more logical. Why? Because I use the power bank a lot. So with power banks, you don't have option to charge 1 plus, because that's 4 amps. You don't have options to do like voltage, like super fast charging, and all these things are not available on power banks. Now if you're home and you want to charge the phone, then it makes sense. Faster charging, whatever, it makes sense. But if you're roaming around, if you're going out, then it doesn't make sense, because I'm not roaming around with my charger. I'm roaming around with my power bank. So with the power bank, fast charging is more important to me. So with this, in 2 hours, a power bank can charge my phone in 2 hours. But if you have another phone with has fast charging and everything, that will not be able to charge in 2 hours with a power bank. So that's something that people are not talking about. I wanted you to know, because I end up using the power bank a lot. So it has fast charging, but it takes 2 hours to charge it full, and the battery is 4500 mAh, which is amazing. This is the best phone for as in the best phone that I've used for battery backup. I can easily use it for 1 full day. And right now, because of the lockdown situation, I am actually using this as my main internet. I am tethering with this the entire day, and it has no problems. The phone does not heat up with tethering, and the battery life, by the time I put it back on charging, I still have around 40% of battery. So that's amazing. So easily with a regular usage, you will be able to take it to 2 days without any issues. Now the reason why it is able to do that is because of the screen itself, because it's an IPS display, it's not a OLED display. So that's a trade-off, but I actually like the entire package. Now let's come to the main thing, the camera. Now actually that's one of the main things, the camera. So the camera, you have a quad camera setup. You have a 64 megapixel camera, you have a 2 megapixel depth sensor, you have a wide angle 8 megapixel camera, and a 2 megapixel macro camera. Now it sounds very fancy, it sounds very good, but it's actually not. The only good camera on this is the 64 megapixel one. Now let me tell you how the cameras actually work. Now the 2 megapixel camera is just to detect your background and give you that blur. That's it. It doesn't have any other function. Now the wide angle one is just a camera which actually takes a wider angle picture or a video. Now the wide angle on this is 8 megapixel, and it's okay. It's not that great. I did not like the quality that much. With good lighting, it still manages to give you good pictures, but in the dark, it's not that great at all. So I will not rely for this. I'll not rely for the macro even. The macro is okay, but the focusing is very, I don't know, I don't want to use any words. The focusing is not that great. I used it in Kanyakumari, I used it in Kerala, I used it in a lot of places, but I was not able to get any decent pictures. Most of the pictures were getting blurry. I was not able to get good focus on it. I am actually able to get better focus on those lenses that you get, the lens kit. You put that kit on a good camera and take better macro pictures. So the macro on this is not that great. It's there in emergency or in times where you want to use it, you can use it, but it's going to be blurry, it's going to be grainy, it's not going to be that great. But what saves this phone is the 64 megapixel camera. Now that is excellent. So that camera is what I generally use. I don't even use macro. I actually click it with the 64 megapixel and then zoom in, and I get better quality than a macro one. And that is the same camera for the 16 megapixel photo. So how the camera actually works is in normal mode, from the same camera you get 16 megapixel pictures, and there's a 64 megapixel mode where you press the 64 megapixel and the same camera now gives you 64 megapixel pictures. 64 megapixel pictures cannot be zoomed, so you cannot zoom and click. You can click and zoom. So click, and after that you can see what you got. Now the quality on this is excellent, and the same camera is used for telephoto. So a lot of people think that you have a telephoto lens on this, but no, you don't have. So the telephoto 16 megapixel and 64 megapixel is the same camera. So that camera is very good. So because of that camera, I can advise this as a camera phone. For the price, it is actually pretty good. The other ones are gimmicky, they're not going to be that great. With good lighting condition and stuff, it's good. Now, two other things about the macro camera is that when you try to change the picture size, you don't have that option. It takes VGA picture. According to me, it's VGA. It doesn't look HD at all. And when you actually try to go close to your subject to take macro pictures, the phone itself becomes a problem because the phone is blocking the light. Now, if I put on the flash, which is right next to this, then there's a lot of light, so you have to play around with it, because now if there's a lot of light, then you have to go back a little. So then the macro doesn't work. You go front, then the light is too much. So that's a problem that I've been facing. So that's why I did not end up using the macro that much. But with good lighting, when the light is coming from the other side and then you're going this way, that will be okay. So a lot of people will be able to use it, but I was not able to use it that much. Now let's talk about the video quality. Now with the 64 megapixel camera, you can go up to 4K 30 FPS. You do not have 60 FPS with this. Now the good thing is, now the wide angle camera does give you full HD, and it allows you to take videos, and the macro camera also allows you to take videos, so which is rare with most of these kind of phones. You can take pictures with them, but you cannot take videos, and the videos you can't have high resolution. With this you do get high resolution, just that the resolution is not that high enough. Now let's talk about the OS. Now the OS on this right now is the MIUI 11. It came with 10, I believe, but it you keep getting updates, and it got updated to 11, and the phone is actually very smooth. I don't have any performance related issues. I use dual apps because I have my personal accounts and my professional accounts. I use dual apps. Dual apps work perfectly. Don't have any app crashes or any app related issues. I do have screen ratio related issues, but that hopefully with the future updates that might be fixed. Now let's talk about the sound. Now the sound on this is actually pretty good. The earphone sound is very nice. So the earpiece sound, sorry, is very nice. The sound out of the 3.5 mm jack is also good. For a budget phone, it is good. I will not compare it with the hi-fi DACs. So for budget range, it's pretty good. And the bottom firing single speaker is loud enough. It's not going to blow your mind. It's not going to have a lot of bass and treble and all these things. It's a mono speaker, which is decent enough for this price range. Yes, you do not have a hi-fi DAC in it. You don't get that premium quality of the sound, but that's what we expect from a budget phone. It should be good enough, and this is good enough. Finally, let's talk about the gaming performance. Now the gaming performance on this is excellent. No matter what game you want to play, PUBG, Call of Duty, whatever, this is going to be excellent in this. You can play it on full graphics, high graphics, ultra HD, HD, whatever you want to choose, you can work with that. So it's an excellent phone for gaming. The only thing that I don't like is the screen itself. Even though it's a big screen, everything is big. I'm used to most of the high-end phones where the OLED displays, the clarity, the depth is different. This does not have that much of depth, but the performance is good. For a budget phone, the performance is good. Everything is good. Unless you are used to playing on high-end devices, you won't really have any problems with this. So gaming wise, excellent. The only thing is, if you are using it on full graphics, so I generally play on full graphics on PUBG. So when I'm playing that, in like 10-15 minutes, the phone starts heating up a little over here, over this area somewhere, and it is kind of noticeable, but it's not so much that your hand starts burning or it's like, oh, it's overheating or that you won't really feel it, but it does get warm. So people say that this is a problem with MediaTek, but personally I've seen it with most of the processor, whether it's Snapdragon, MediaTek, whatever, all of them heat up. So this also heats up, but it's not heating up like how it used to be. The MediaTek processors before used to heat up a lot. Now this does not heat up like that. This heats up in the Snapdragon range itself. So I will not really complain about the heating up. It's normal. It's there with all the phones. Okay, so what's the verdict? Now after 6 months of usage, there's a newer phone, there's a 9 Pro Max also available in the market. Now my comparison has to be with that. Now when you're going to buy the phone, whether you should buy this or that also you have to keep in mind. Now if I talk about the phone itself, excellent phone for the price, good camera, good battery life, good screen, everything is good. So it's an all-rounder altogether. The only problem you'll have with it is the size and the weight. So if you're not into a big phone, then don't buy it. This is very big. If you're not into a heavy phone, then don't buy it. This is actually heavy. Now let's compare it with the newer version. So the 9 or 9 Pro Max, whichever you want to choose, they have a Snapdragon variant. Now the Snapdragon variant is also good with gaming and all. They have one thing up their sleeve, which is Google camera port. So this one now has unofficially they have actually put Google camera for it. I actually installed it, I used it for some time, but the experience was not as great as the Snapdragon versions. They are like smooth. This one has a little bit of thing, some of the things don't work, some of the time it hangs, some of the, so a little bit of issues with that. So if you're looking for Google camera port, then I will not suggest this, even though there is one that's not that great. But if you're looking for gaming, pure gaming experience and a big screen, then I will incline towards the 8 Pro more. So now it totally depends on your preference. You go, what I would suggest is go to the MI store itself, take both the phones, they have it on display, take both the phones, take it in your hand and then feel. So you have to feel the phone also. You have to, you're going to be using it for a long time. So when you actually hold a phone in your hand, you will realize which one is for you. So whichever you choose, you'll not go wrong. Just that the other one, the 9 Pro Max will be more expensive than this, like around the 1,000 rupees more maximum. But it's not much of a difference. So depends on your personal preference, what you like, go for that. You won't go wrong with either. So that's it for this video. If you like the video, please subscribe with the like button and do comment, and I'll see you again with another video. Bye bye.